G'day and welcome to a video on how to add a bit of flavour to your macros in World of Warcraft. Now if you're like me, you might like to make some transmogs that are thematic, designed around a certain character idea or design. For my Horde Rogue, he's undead, level 100, don't really play him. I decided to go for a sort of dread pirate, undead, seafaring guy, because I play him as outlaw, so that's the whole pistol and the sword and the roll the bones and all that. So I chose the Horde Pirate hat and then tried to match some brownish, reddish clothes to the hat because I don't really have a lot of leather characters, so I don't really have a lot of leather gear for transmog. Then for the weapon, I sort of tried to tie it down with a rapier and this sort of dagger thing that looks a bit like a pistol with that trigger mechanism sort of thing looking there, which is why I picked that. But the reason why I'm showing you my transmog is because there are other ways to add a bit of flavour to your character if you want to feel like you're playing them in a certain way. So, with a Dread Pirate who uses a pistol, he's probably a bit cocky. I sort of try to get into the mindset of how the character plays, or how he would play if he were, a character in a movie or something. So he's probably a bit cocky, a bit full of himself, a bit mouthy because that's the sort of guy he was. He used to be in the Navy or something maybe before he died. And then was resurrected, and so he's a bit mouthy, a bit cocky, and he likes to sort of make fun of his enemies and that sort of thing, and just likes to shout out what he's doing. So I found a way to make macros generate a random phrase, or not a random phrase, but select a phrase out of a list of phrases every time you cast an ability. So I'll show you what I mean here, and then I'll give you a brief description of how it works. So I'll just attack this this Talbook here. So I don't have every ability selected to do this, but I've got Pistol Shot, so when I click Pistol Shot, he shouts bang, or right atwixt the eyes. I got a lot more where that one came from. I got one for Cannon Barrage. I got some for Crimson Vial. I did Roll the Bones. And I also did Adrenaline Rush. So as you saw, when I used those abilities, he shouted out a random phrase. What I'll do, just to show you the extent of all the phrases I've put onto Pistol Shot, I'll just go around pistol shotting a few of these enemies. So I'll roll the bones. Keep getting the same one. It's annoying. Yeah, so as you saw, you can see in my chat log I got a load of random different sayings. So I'll show you how I did this by opening up my macro menu. As soon as I get out of the way of all where that thing spawned. So open up my macros. So these are the specific macros for this character. Oh, I did one for Vanish as well, I forgot about that. But what I did was I found the way to make it so that whenever I use this ability, it runs one of these messages that I've got here. So Adrenaline Rush is either unlimited power, I feel great, or everything's moving slow-like. Now, the reason why I picked those phrases was, again, because I wanted him to sound sort of dread piratey. It's not so obvious in Adrenaline Rush, but maybe Cannibal Barrage is, fire the broadsides, or, oh, you'll get it now, scallywags, that sort of thing. So the way you do it is you just pick an ability you want. So we'll do a new one. How about we do... maybe we should do kick. So you just go into your macro, make it as you would. Go hashtag show tooltip. That's just so that it shows the picture of the ability that you're going to do it on. Then you just write /cast kick to make, or whatever ability. So in this case kick. Then you write this, save that. you write this here. So /run SendChatMessage GetRandomArgument, exactly like it appears here. And I will put this in the description so you can copy paste it if you want to do this as well. So exactly as it appears there, GetRandomArgument, then do another open bracket, and then you write in what you want to say. So we want kick is sort of might be a bit of a seen as a bit of a dirty move because you're not, you know, sort of coming from left field, just kicking out while you're in a sword fight. So maybe something like you know, taste that, and it's also to do with, you know, interrupting a cast. So shut up. What else could we do for kick? How's me boot feel? Just something like that. Then you do two closed brackets because you got the two brackets there, the two open brackets. And then we'll drag that onto the taskbar. And now whenever I cast kick, I can't do it to an enemy because I need to be casting, but every time I press the thing, he'll say one of these random arguments. Now there are a few issues with this, mainly that because you can't, you know, there's a 255 character limit, you can't put in as many as you like. You can't put in 100 phrases and then he'll just say, your character will say, you know, one of those randomly. You can only put in a very limited number of phrases, so you sort of just have to pick the ones that you really like the sound of. And I also wouldn't recommend doing it on an ability you use all the time, like pistol shot, like I've done. The only reason why I did that was because I don't play this character very much, so it's kind of funny to just do it every now and then when I jump on him. But if you do it on a cooldown like I had on Adrenaline Rush, you'll get that sort of thing every 3 minutes, every, you know, whatever the length of the cooldown is. Every time you use that ability, you'll get something a bit different that he'll shout out, and it can make your character stand out, and it can make your character feel a bit more like how you would like him to play. So my Death Knight, I might use it on Empower Rune Weapon and say something like, you know, feel the power of my runes, or something like that, or finally, you know, the time has come, something like that. A bit ominous, a bit dark sounding, but you know, if you want to spice up your character and the flavor of your character's abilities, and you think he might say certain things, if you know, this is sort of roleplay-esque. If you like that idea of playing a character who fits a specific niche, like the outlaw rogue who is actually a pirate, or a Death Knight who's a bit dark, or a paladin who's very devout, you might want to add something to some of his abilities that make him sound like he's, you know, casting a spell or something like that. And I just think it's really interesting to do this sort of thing. It does make your character stand out, but fair warning, if you are on an active raid team or you're in a guild where you're with people a lot of the time, like such as doing dungeons or PvP, they may get fed up with hearing your character shout something every time you cast an ability. Of course, it can help if you're going to use a cooldown like Surrender to Madness as a priest, to have something so everyone knows, hey, I'm casting Surrender to Madness now, so give me big buffs or whatever, or don't worry if I die. It can be helpful in that way, but it can also annoy them, because a few of my guildies got pretty annoyed at me on my Death Knight. I had 5 different sayings bound to Remorseless Winter, and because I cast that every 20 seconds whenever it's up, it was constant. I was always saying something, and they did get a bit annoyed with me, and I did turn that off eventually, because that is my main and I play them all the time. And you may also get some comments in random dungeons and random groups. If you do this sort of thing, they might say something about it, because I had that a few times. But if you do want to try this out, maybe do it on just a couple of abilities, a couple of offensive cooldowns that you use every 2, 3, 4 minutes, as opposed to something you use on cooldown, or something you use like pistol shot, you know, a core ability to your class. But yeah, if you liked that, if you thought it was interesting, and if you think you might try this out for your own character, leave a comment detailing what you think your character might say and what you think you're going to add to your character's abilities, and I'll be glad to read it. Maybe I'll reply to you. and discuss with you some of the things that I think would be cool for your character. Otherwise, if you didn't, just tell me what you thought. Tell me if you liked the video. Subscribe if you'd like. There'll be more videos in this vein. And thank you for watching. See ya.